Good evening. It's Saturday, the 1st of November. You're tuned in to our 10 p.m. newscast coming to you from Arirang's news centre here in Seoul. Thanks ever so much for joining us. I'm Mark Broome. Our top story tonight. The families of the victims of April's Sewol-ho ferry disaster have reacted positively to an agreement reached late last night between the two rival parties on a package of bills related to the sinking. They say that while their demands were not completely met, they are content to have a say on who will be involved in investigating the disaster. Representatives of the families will meet on Sunday. They are going to discuss their feelings on the agreement in more depth. Now, today is also a solemn day, as it marks 200 days since the sinking, in which more than 300 people, mostly high school students, so tragically lost their lives. To mark the day, a ceremony was held at a special memorial altar in Ansan, the city which the vast majority of the victims called home. The funeral for a female student, whose body was recovered on Wednesday, was also held today. Her body was the first to be recovered in more than 100 days. Korea's monthly export volume reached an all-time record high in October on the back of strong ship and steel exports. The country also logged a monthly trade surplus as imports fell last month. Our Song Ji-son reports.
A strong start for the final quarter makes it almost certain that 2014 is going to be a record year for Korea in terms of trade. The Trade Ministry says the country's exports rose 2.5% from a year earlier to hit a record $51.8 billion in October. The trade surplus also logged an all-time monthly high of $7.5 billion as imports dropped 3%, coming in at $44.2 billion. Officials attribute the record monthly export figure to robust shipments to the United States as domestic demand in the U.S. picks up sharply ahead of Thanksgiving and massive sales events like Black Friday. Major export items like steel, ships, and semiconductors all logged strong growth. Exports of handsets, however, dropped 16% last month as competition intensified in emerging markets where local manufacturers are gaining ground and Apple's release of its latest iPhone 6 models. Although the slow economic recovery in Japan and the Eurozone remain as downside risks, the Trade Ministry says Korea is likely to surpass the $1 trillion trade mark by the end of November. Song Ji-son, Arirang News.
North Korea will see no major changes or reforms under the leadership of Kim Jong-un. That's the assessment of a senior North Korean expert in the United States. Speaking at a Korean Society event held in New York City on Friday local time, Sumi Terry, who is a research scholar at Columbia University and former analyst for the CIA, said North Korea will only change if it can break free from the three-generation rule of the Kim regime or if the two Koreas can reunite. On potential reunification scenarios, Terry said the most likely is that North Korea would be absorbed into the South following some kind of internal conflict in the North, and she urged the international community to start preparing for such an eventuality. She also said reunification of the Koreas would be more expensive than that of Germany's in the early 1990s, but the economic benefits of it would be much more than its cost. The American man recently released from North Korea has admitted for the first time that he left a Bible in a North Korean nightclub bathroom on purpose. Jeffrey Fowle was speaking to US networks about his experiences during his 5-month detention in the North when he made this admission. He said that he thought it was a risk worth taking, but with hindsight, he would not do it again, and he wouldn't recommend anyone else doing it. Fowle was unexpectedly released by the North back on October 22nd and was flown home, as we just saw there, on a US government jet. Now, talking about his time in prison in North Korea, Fowle said that he was treated quite well and given large portions of rice, vegetables, soup and meat every day of his imprisonment. The 56-year-old, who is from Ohio, also got his old job back and goes back to work on Monday. Now, South Korea is home to a great many international residents from all over the world, and a large number of them are from Asian countries, and they're here to work in the nation's construction, manufacturing and farming sectors. And earlier today, an event was held to bring the various foreign communities together, and that of Korean community as well, and celebrate the growing diversity of Korea's labour market. Our Kim Yeon-bin reports.
The number of foreign workers in Korea is on the rise. Recent government data shows their numbers swelled from roughly 750,000 in 2013 to almost 820,000 this year. Most of the workers from South and Southeast Asia are here because they can earn more money in Korea than they can in their home countries. They send large portions of their salaries back to their families. As a means of supporting the workers and encouraging greater integration, the Foreign Workers' Harmony Festival was held on Saturday at an amusement park in Yongin, a city just south of Seoul. The festival, jointly hosted by Arirang TV and the Korea Federation of SMEs, runs under the slogan Beyond Amity to Harmony.
We hope this event brings greater harmony to Korea's hard-working foreign community. It's also our way of showing that we respect the work they do here.
There was plenty to do as well, from taekwondo demonstrations to foreign workers performing their country's signature dance and songs. It was an opportunity to learn about different cultures.
I've lived in Korea for more than 10 years. I know about Korea and I'm keen to show my country's culture. I'm happy to have the chance to enjoy the different cultural activities today.
One Korean lawmaker and a handful of foreign ambassadors were also supporting the event. One ambassador said he was happy to see the Korean government was making efforts to look after foreign workers.
I'm very happy to be here, especially this kind of program establishes harmony and solidarity among people of different countries who are working here. Especially, I want to insist that Korean government is doing a very good job.
The organizers say the festival acts as a bridge between Koreans and foreign workers by raising awareness and sharing the best of each other's cultures. Kim Yeon-bin, Arirang News.
Now, in international news, one pilot has died and another has been seriously injured after a passenger spaceship belonging to space tourism venture Virgin Galactic crashed during a test flight in California. The company says the Spaceship 2 craft was flying a manned test when it experienced a serious anomaly and crashed into the Mojave Desert. The injured pilot, who ejected and parachuted to the ground, was airlifted to a nearby hospital. An investigation into the cause of the crash is expected to take about a week or so. Now, this incident is a massive setback for British billionaire Richard Branson's dream of sending tourists to the edge of space. In a tweet and blog post, Branson, who is currently on his way to the scene of the accident, expressed his sadness but stressed his company would persevere with its very ambitious plans. Now, the leader of militant Islamist group Boko Haram says the 219 schoolgirls kidnapped from a remote town in Nigeria's northeast 6 months ago have converted to Islam and have been married off. In a video obtained by the AFP news agency, Abubakar Shekau said the girls have already memorized chapters of the Quran and are living in their marital homes. In a previous statement, the group's leader threatened to sell the girls as slave brides and also suggested that he might be prepared to release them in exchange for Boko Haram prisoners. Shekau also denied earlier claims his group had reached a ceasefire agreement with the Nigerian government. Now, moving around a large city can be a challenge for even the most mobile of us, but for people with visual impairments, getting from one place to another is very difficult and much more dangerous. But now a new device created by researchers in India could help the visually impaired navigate the obstacles of big cities more safely. Our Son Jung-in reports.
For the visually impaired, everyday activities like crossing the street can be a challenge. But those tasks may soon get safer and easier thanks to a newly developed device by the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi.
it has added to the comfort level. It has added to the confidence level. It has like added to my experience of like walking on the road, commuting to my workplace, to my home, traveling to shopping malls, and all. I feel empowered while using it.
This electronic device called a smart cane sends out ultrasonic waves as the user walks. If it detects any obstacles within a 3-meter radius, it conveys the presence of the obstacles to the user through vibrations, which vary according to how far away the object is. The device can also spot objects above the knee, helping the user to avoid the kinds of upper body injuries suffered by many traditional cane users. What's even better is its affordable price of just $50, which is about 25 times less than the market price of a similar product launched in 2011. Users say it has helped them get around quicker than ever.
And my travel time has reduced by, say, 25%. Earlier, if I used to take 10 minutes to travel from one place to another, and now I covered that distance in 7.5 minutes.
If the smart cane is introduced here in Korea, it is expected to improve life for the more than 250,000 visually impaired people in the country. 손정인, Arirang News.
And finally, leaving you with the weather. After what's been quite a warm and sunny late autumn day here in Seoul, temperatures are unfortunately going to drop several degrees tomorrow. The daytime high in the capital will top out at just 14 degrees Celsius, and it won't really feel that much warmer anywhere else in Korea. And just an extra word of warning, the mercury is going to plunge to the single digits next week, so you'll need to get that winter jacket out. Let's take a look at the weather conditions in your part of the world. Well, those are the news stories we have for you at this hour. For more of the latest developments, don't forget to check out our very comprehensive website, arirang.co.kr/news. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.